When I first heard about Grok AI, I was skeptical. The idea that an artificial intelligence could understand human emotions, it sounded like something out of a sci-fi movie. But Grok claims to do just that, analyze text, voice, and even facial expressions to gauge how someone is feeling. So, is it really capable of this emotional intelligence, or is it just overblown hype? Well, I decided to find out firsthand. To kick things off, I signed up for their platform, which is surprisingly user-friendly. For about $20 a month, you get access to all the features. Once I was in, I was eager to test its core functionalities. I uploaded some text samples, emails, social media posts, and even journal entries, hoping to see how Grok would interpret my feelings. And honestly, I was both hopeful and a bit anxious. Let me break down how I tested Grok AI. First, I started with some basic text inputs. I fed it a few emails where I had expressed frustration about work. Now, here's where it got interesting. Grok flagged my tone as disappointed rather than frustrated. I thought that was a bit off. Disappointment is a shade of frustration, but it's not the whole picture. Next, I recorded a voice note where I talked about a recent breakup. I thought I was being pretty expressive, but Grok summarized my feelings as neutral and calm. I had a moment of frustration there. Did it really miss the emotional depth in what I was saying? It made me question whether Grok really picked up on nuances, or if it just relied on surface-level cues. Another test involved using their emotional analysis feature in a chat with a friend. I typed out a message that was meant to be playful, but came off as sarcastic. Grok interpreted it as friendly, definitely not what I was going for. So, while Grok has an impressive interface and a slick design, I found its emotional interpretations to be hit or miss. Now, let's talk about where Grok AI actually shines. When it gets things right, it's pretty remarkable. For example, when I asked it to analyze some poetry I wrote, something deeply emotional, Grok picked up on themes of longing and nostalgia accurately. That was a pleasant surprise. It feels like it has a certain level of sensitivity when dealing with creative texts. If you're a content creator or a marketer, this tool could be a game changer. Imagine being able to fine-tune your messaging to resonate more deeply with your audience's emotions. It could save you time in crafting the perfect ad copy or social media content. For me, I could see how Grok could benefit anyone in a communication-heavy role. In fact, I'd say it's worth it just for those specific features, especially if you're looking to create emotionally engaging content. However, I want to emphasize that this benefit comes with a caveat. The more nuanced the content, the better Grok performs. Simple texts? Not so much. Now, let's get into the limitations. First up, the pricing. At $20 a month, it's not the cheapest tool out there, especially when you consider that some basic emotional analysis tools are free. That said, you do get more features with Grok. But if you're a casual user looking for something basic, you might feel like you're overpaying. Then there's the user experience. While the interface is sleek, I ran into some annoying UX hiccups. For instance, there were times when the app would take a minute to process my inputs. That doesn't sound like much, but when you're trying to analyze multiple entries in a row, it can feel frustrating. I found myself waiting around, tapping my feet, wondering if my emotional state was somehow influencing the loading time. And don't even get me started on the emotional analytics for voice inputs. It seems to struggle with accents or any sort of background noise. I recorded some input from a family gathering, thinking it would capture the liveliness of the moment. Instead, it interpreted the background chatter as me being distracted. So, if you're in a noisy environment, don't expect Grok to give you an accurate reading. So, what's my final takeaway here? If you're a professional content creator, marketer, or someone who regularly communicates in emotionally charged contexts, Grok AI could be a valuable addition to your toolkit. It's especially beneficial for fine-tuning messages and understanding emotional connections. But if you're just looking for a casual tool to analyze your text, CPI, or voice notes, you might want to save your money. There are plenty of free options out there that deliver decent results without the price tag. Personally, I think I would keep Grok AI in my toolbox for specific projects where I need that emotional depth, but I wouldn't rely on it for everyday use. In the end, it's all about understanding its strengths and weaknesses. Before I wrap up, I want to share one last unexpected finding. It turns out that Grok AI's emotional analysis can be influenced by the context of your previous messages. I noticed that if I fed it a series of sad texts, it would later interpret neutral or lighthearted texts as being more negative than intended. It's like it builds a narrative around your emotional state, which can skew results. So if you're switching topics frequently, you may want to reset your context every now and then. In conclusion, Grok AI is an interesting tool that has potential, but also clear limitations. It's not a miracle worker, and it won't replace human emotional intelligence anytime soon. But it does open up a conversation about how AI could evolve in understanding us better. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this review helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tech insights.